Hello everyone and welcome back to the show. Now America, we love to think of ourselves as top dog, the big cheese, the world's leading superpower, and for a while there, we weren't wrong. But what if we told you that the global power landscape is shifting and some nations are climbing the ranks, leaving the USA fuming? That's right, the US is facing some stiff competition on the world stage, and it's not coming from who you might think. In this eye-opening video, we dive into the 10 countries the United States struggles with most in 2025. From emerging economies to diplomatic tensions, discover who these nations are and why their rising influence is triggering America's wrath. We're talking trade wars, technological arms races, and enough geopolitical drama to make your head spin. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content. First up, we have China, a country that needs no introduction. For years now, China has been steadily climbing the economic ladder. And let's be honest, they're practically sprinting up the stairs while the US is still trying to find its matching socks. China's economic rise has been nothing short of remarkable. From a largely agrarian society just a few decades ago, they've transformed into a global manufacturing powerhouse, churning out everything from iPhones to solar panels. And they're not just content with being the world's factory floor anymore. China is investing heavily in cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence and 5G, aiming to dominate the industries of the future. This economic prowess translates into real geopolitical clout. China is flexing its muscles on the world stage, challenging the US for influence in regions like Africa and Southeast Asia. They're building ports, funding infrastructure projects, and generally making friends and influencing people, much to the chagrin of Washington. Of course, the US isn't taking this lying down. The US-China rivalry is only going to heat up in the coming years, and the outcome will have profound implications for all of us. Russia. Just when you thought it was safe to dust off your old Cold War-era board games, they're back, baby. While not the economic powerhouse that China is, Russia, under the watchful eye of Vladimir Putin, continues to be a major thorn in America's side. Sure, gone are the days of mutually assured destruction and hiding under your school desk during duck-and-cover drills, but Russia has found new and creative ways to poke the bear, so to speak. Election meddling? Check. Military interventions in Syria and Ukraine? Check and check. Cyber attacks on US infrastructure? Oh, you better believe that's a check. Russia's strategy is a masterclass in asymmetric warfare, using a combination of military might, cyber espionage, and good old-fashioned propaganda to undermine the US and its allies. They know they can't win a conventional war with the US, so they're playing the long game, sowing discord, and exploiting weaknesses in the Western world. Still, Russia remains a wild card on the world stage, a country with a chip on its shoulder and a knack for keeping everyone guessing. Russia is here to stay, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Now let's turn our attention to India, a country that's often overlooked in discussions of global power dynamics. With a population set to surpass China's and an economy growing rapidly, India is becoming a force to be reckoned with. Think of India as that smart friend who finally realized their potential. They're acing exams, getting into top colleges, and making waves. India's rise is fueled by a young, educated workforce and a booming tech sector. They're attracting foreign investment and building world-class infrastructure. India's ambitions extend beyond economic growth. They're vying for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council and strengthening their military capabilities. The US-India relationship is complex, full of potential and pitfalls. Next up, we travel to South America, where a giant is stirring from its slumber. Brazil, the land of samba, sunshine, and enough natural resources to make a Saudi prince blush, has long been touted as a country with enormous potential. But for decades, that potential remained largely untapped, hampered by political instability, corruption, and a penchant for losing World Cup finals in spectacularly heartbreaking fashion. But things are changing in Brazil. The economy, while still facing challenges, has made significant strides in recent years, and the country has emerged as a major player in global agricultural markets. They're feeding the world, one soybean and cup of coffee at a time. So while Brazil might not be challenging the US in the same way that China or Russia is, their actions or inaction have global consequences. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're diving into the world of K-pop, kimchi, and cutting-edge technology. South Korea has transformed from a war-torn nation to a global powerhouse. Blink, and you might miss it. From rebuilding to producing world-class electronics and cars, and their cultural influence is massive. K-pop groups like BTS and Blackpink are global sensations. But it's not just about music and gadgets. South Korea invests heavily in education and innovation. This has caught the attention of the United States. South Korea now competes directly with US tech giants. Now let's shift our focus to the Middle East, a region that's no stranger to conflict and geopolitical maneuvering. At the heart of it all lies Iran, a country with a rich history and a government that seems hell-bent on giving the US a headache. The US-Iran relationship is about as stable as a unicycle on a tightrope. From the 1979 Islamic Revolution to ongoing nuclear tensions, the two countries have been locked in mistrust for decades. The US accuses Iran of sponsoring terrorism and pursuing nuclear weapons. Iran accuses the US of imperialism and hypocrisy. While the Biden administration signals willingness to rejoin the nuclear deal, obstacles remain. Hardliners on both sides remain deeply suspicious, risking further chaos. Containing Iran's influence while avoiding conflict requires a deft touch and realism. Hold on to your fezzes, because we're about to delve into the world of Turkish delights, ancient history, and a geopolitical balancing act that would make a Swiss diplomat break a sweat. That's right, we're talking about Turkey, a country that straddles the divide between East and West Europe and Asia, secularism and Islam. Turkey has long been a key US ally, a NATO member strategically located at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. But in recent years, the relationship has become increasingly strained, with Turkey's increasingly authoritarian government clashing with the US on issues ranging from human rights to Syria policy. Under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Turkey has undergone a dramatic transformation, moving away from its secular roots and embracing a more Islamist identity. Erdogan has also cracked down on dissent, jailed journalists and political opponents, and consolidated his power, raising concerns about the future of Turkish democracy. Finding a way to work with Turkey while also standing up for US values and interests will be a major challenge in the years to come. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're about to journey to a land of vast deserts, unimaginable oil wealth, and a ruling family that makes the Kardashians look like amateurs when it comes to family drama. That's right, we're talking about Saudi Arabia, a country that's both a vital US ally and a major source of regional instability. The US-Saudi relationship is one of those complicated situations. On the one hand, Saudi Arabia is a major oil producer, a key counterterrorism partner, and a bulwark against Iranian influence in the region. On the other hand, their human rights record is abysmal, their foreign policy is often reckless, and their crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, is widely believed to have ordered the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The US needs Saudi Arabia, but at what cost? The Trump administration embraced the Saudis wholeheartedly, turning a blind eye to their human rights abuses and showering them with weapons. The Biden administration has taken a more critical stance, but they're still reluctant to jeopardize the relationship entirely. Get ready to say konnichiwa to a nation where ancient traditions meet futuristic technology, where bullet trains zip past serene temples, and where the economy is both a powerhouse and a puzzle. That's right, we're talking about Japan, a country that's quietly but steadily reasserting itself on the world stage. For decades, Japan was content to play second fiddle to the US, its economy humming along, its military restrained by its pacifist constitution. But in recent years, Japan has been flexing its muscles, both economically and militarily, signaling a shift away from its post-war pacifism and a desire to play a more assertive role in global affairs. This shift is being driven by a number of factors, including China's growing assertiveness, North Korea's nuclear ambitions, and a sense that the US is no longer the reliable partner it once was. Japan is also facing its own demographic challenges, with a shrinking and aging population that's putting a strain on its economy and social safety net. So, Japan's re-emergence as a major player on the world stage presents both opportunities and challenges for the US. Hold on to your lederhosen, because we're about to delve into a land of precision engineering and quiet power shaking up the global order. That's right, we're talking about Germany, a country that's gone from post-war pariah to economic powerhouse. For decades, Germany shied away from throwing its weight around, haunted by its past. But as the EU's largest economy, Germany has found itself thrust into global leadership. This assertiveness is evident in Germany's role in the Eurozone and refugee crises. They've become more vocal, pushing for multilateral global governance. The US has a complicated relationship with Germany's rise. They recognize Germany as a vital ally in addressing global challenges. So, there you have it, folks. 10 countries, each with their own unique set of strengths, weaknesses, and ambitions, all challenging the US in their own way. The world is changing, and the days of unipolar US dominance are over. We're entering a new era of multipolarity, one where power is more diffuse, alliances are more fluid, and the rules of the game are being rewritten. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let's start a conversation about the changing global landscape and what it means for the future. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us. See you in the next video.